The Locked Room Murder No One Could Solve, Part 2. The Secret of the Missing Key. Last time we left you with a chilling question. How did the murderer escape a locked room? And what secret was Professor Alan Whitaker trying to expose before his death? A missing manuscript, a vanished suspect, and a second lock that shouldn't exist. Police believed they were chasing a ghost. But soon they would discover something even darker. Something that would turn the impossible into the unthinkable. The person police suspected, Daniel Price, Alan's former assistant, had simply disappeared. No bank activity, no phone records, not a trace. Investigators searched his apartment. It was abandoned, but on his wall, written faintly in red marker, were the words, "He found the door that doesn't open." Those words sent chills down the detectives' spines. Was Daniel confessing, or warning them? The phrase made no sense, until they found what lay beneath his floorboards. A small metal box, rusted with age. Inside, a hand-drawn sketch of a door. Not a normal one, but circular, with complex gears and a strange inscription beneath it. For those who must never leave. At the bottom of the paper, the initials. A.W. Alan Whitaker's handwriting. Detective Evelyn Hart, who had been leading the case for months, decided to revisit Riverside Towers, the building where Alan was murdered. Something about that place never sat right with her. The narrow halls, the hum of old radiators, the heavy silence. Like the building itself was holding its breath. During a structural inspection, she discovered a sealed-off basement door behind the utility corridor. Old, rusted, bolted shut from the outside. Records showed it hadn't been opened in decades. But the lock, a matching twin to the custom one found on Alan's door. When the maintenance crew finally broke it open, they found a narrow staircase descending into darkness. The air was thick with mold and dust. And at the bottom, another door. Round, wheeled, the same one from the sketch. Evelyn's flashlight cut through the dark. The door's center bore a strange emblem. Two interlocking keys surrounded by faint red paint. Her pulse quickened. That same red paint had been found under Alan's fingernails. Someone had been here before. The mechanism was unlike anything modern. It wasn't electronic or mechanical. It was something older, ritualistic. When Evelyn pressed her ear against it, she swore she heard a faint sound, a rhythmic tapping, like something or someone moving on the other side. But there was no handle, no visible lock, just a small keyhole shaped like a tear. And then, etched faintly into the metal, the words, "Truth demands entry." Back at police headquarters, forensic analysts discovered something new in Alan's old office files. A second journal, different from his diary. This one hidden in a hollowed-out book. Inside were notes that read like a confession. Alan had been corresponding with someone known only as Slim. Their letters spoke of a passage under the building, the true story behind the glasshouse murders, and most hauntingly, we are not the first. The pattern always repeats. The room locks itself. The last entry, dated 1 week before Alan's death, read, "Daniel wants to open it. I told him we're not ready. Once it's open, it never closes again." Evelyn felt her stomach twist. Had Daniel opened the door Alan warned about? Determined to find answers, Evelyn returned to Riverside Towers that night. Alone. The building was eerily silent. The walls seemed to creak with whispers. She descended into the basement with a camera crew, her flashlight flickering as they approached the circular door. But this time it was open. A faint metallic groan echoed through the corridor. The door, once sealed, now slightly ajar. The smell of rust and something else, something rotten, spilled into the hallway. "Hello," she called out. No response. Her team exchanged uneasy looks. Every instinct screamed at her to leave, but curiosity drove her forward. The room beyond was smaller than expected. Circular stone walls. No windows. Just a single wooden chair in the center, covered in dust. On the floor, chalk markings, symbols strange and symmetrical. A pentagram, well, more like a seal, and scattered across the walls, pages from Alan's missing manuscript, tacked up like evidence in a madman's mind. Each page detailed an experiment about perception, confinement, and the human mind's response to isolation. But at the bottom of one page, written in red ink, was a horrifying line. The test subject believed he was alone. He was wrong. Evelyn turned, her light sweeping across the room. That's when she saw it. Scratches on the inside of the steel door. Long jagged claw marks. From the inside. Later that night, Evelyn submitted the footage to the police archive. But the next morning, everything was gone. No video. No photos. No record she'd ever been there. Her team. 2 of the 3 camera operators had called in sick. The third couldn't be reached at all. When officers went to his apartment, they found the door ajar. Inside, the camera still recording, pointed at the door. The footage showed only static. And faintly, beneath the white noise, a whisper. "You shouldn't have opened it." Desperate for answers, Evelyn dug into the glasshouse affair of 1887, the case Alan had been researching. It told of a scientist found dead in a sealed laboratory. Door locked from the inside, no killer found. Just like Alan. But the deeper she went, the stranger it became. The scientist's name. Dr. Lawrence Marrow. Initials, the same person from Alan's letters. Marrow had been experimenting with acoustic chambers, rooms designed to trap sound and contain consciousness. His final note spoke of the key that must never turn twice. Police dismissed his death as suicide. But now, a century later, Alan had been killed while studying that exact event. And Daniel Price, the missing assistant, had written, "He found the door that doesn't open." The circle was complete. 2 weeks after Evelyn's footage vanished, a letter arrived at her office. No return address. Typewritten on yellowed paper. It read, "You're close. Too close. The door isn't a place, it's a choice. Once entered, it chooses you." Inside the envelope was a small metal key, old and cold to the touch, stamped with the same symbol from the door. 2 interlocking keys. Forensic analysis found Alan Whitaker's fingerprints on it. Impossible. His body had been cremated months ago. Evelyn couldn't sleep. Every night, she heard tapping sounds in her apartment walls. 3 knocks, then silence. When she checked her front door one morning, she found a single word scratched into the wood. Return. By the next night, she made her decision. She returned to Riverside Towers alone. Her flashlight in one hand, the old key in the other. Down in the basement, the circular door loomed, waiting. She hesitated, then pressed the key into the tear-shaped lock. Fit perfectly. She turned it once. A hiss of air escaped like a sigh. The door creaked open, revealing total darkness. Inside, faint whispers echoed. Her own name repeated softly. "Evelyn! Evelyn!" She stepped forward. The next morning, building maintenance found the basement door ajar again. Inside, nothing. No Evelyn. No key. Just a single item lying on the chair in the center of the room. Fresh police badge. Her badge. And beneath it, a new letter typewritten and unsigned. The door was never locked. It only waits. Evelyn Hart was officially declared missing 3 days later. Her final radio transmission contained just 3 words. "I see him." But who did she see? Alan Whitaker, Daniel Price, or something else? Something that had been waiting behind that door all along. The police sealed the basement again. But witnesses claim they still hear tapping sounds at night. 3 knocks, then silence, and sometimes a whisper. Truth demands entry. The locked room murder seemed unsolvable. But now it's more than a crime. It's a pattern. A repeating cycle stretching back over a century. And if the room really locks itself, the next victim might already be chosen. This is my story. Imagine this. A man walks into his apartment. He locks the door. And he never comes out alive. No forced entry. No broken windows. No signs of escape. Yet hours later, his body is found, stabbed to death inside. That very room. And the door. Still locked from the inside. This is the locked room murder no one could solve. Winter 1987. Riverside Towers. Residents awake to strange metallic banging from apartment 3B. Inside lives Professor Alan Whitaker, 42, respected. Color. Police break in after silence. Alan is slumped by his desk. Blood everywhere. 3 stab wounds. But the door is bolted from inside. The window nailed shut. No way in. No way out. Detectives search. No weapon. No knife. Nothing. On the desk. A half-typed letter. If anything happens to me, know it was not by my own hand. The words cut off in blood. Typewriter ribbon ripped. Room spotless. Only Alan's prints. Only Alan's footprints. The perfect mystery. But wounds are impossible to self-inflict. But neighbors saw Alan enter alone. Dogs found no scent trail. No sign of anyone else. It's as if the killer vanished. Alan's watch was shattered, glass missing. A faint smoke smell lingered. Under his nails, red paint flakes. Paint that matched nothing in the apartment. Every clue contradicted the last. Every discovery, more questions. Hidden behind books. Alan's secret journal. He wrote of being stalked. Strange letters slid under his door at night. One message read, "The locked door won't protect you." And Alan had been working on a manuscript. Something he believed would expose a century-old crime. But the manuscript? Police only found an empty folder labeled, "The Glass House Affair, 1887. A notorious unsolved murder." Another locked room case. Had Alan uncovered something dangerous? Something worth killing